Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Skull Session Recruiting Podcast brought to you by BuckeyeHuddle.com. I am Marc Givler. We have Kevin Noon here as we continue our recruiting capsules on the 2023 Ohio State recruiting class. These guys have signed today. We're going to talk about all of them on their own separate little videos. We're having a good time doing this and just kind of giving everyone a crash course into what Ohio State is bringing into the fold today. And we are now really the guy I think, and maybe I'm in the minority here. I probably am. This is my top prospect in the state of Ohio. Number one. And obviously Sonny Styles reclassifying kind of changed the math for me a little bit, but we are talking about Malik Hartford, 4-star safety, Lakota West High School, great program, so much talent coming out of there right now. I absolutely think this is a big time player. This is a player that Perry Eliano kind of handpicked. This was their top overall recruiting target at the University of Cincinnati when Perry Eliano was there, and of course Luke Fickell. This was their top guy on the board, like regardless of position. This was the guy they wanted to get, that they thought they might have a chance to get. This was their top target. Perry Eliano gets the Ohio State job, assistant coaching job. He immediately pretty much offers Malik Hartford. The rest is history. Ohio State really took off from there in Malik Hartford's recruitment, and was able to get him locked up fairly early in the process. I just, I'll gush here a little bit. Kevin, your thoughts on Malik? You've seen him a little bit. You saw him at some camps, I think, and just your thoughts on Malik Hartford.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go down to his announcement ceremony and was able to see all of that. And then I've seen him through the camp circuit. I've seen him visit at Ohio State games, everything else. I mean, big kid, 6'2.5" is what he's listed at, $175. So he's going to need to fill out a little bit. But I mean, he's somebody who just, we've talked about during our segments that that there's so much in terms of one guy in this class can do this and one guy in this class can do that. Well, Malik is a little bit of a blend of some things. I mean, he has a lot of athleticism. It's really kind of exciting to see what it is that he's going to grow into at this level. But make no mistake, he certainly is somebody that I think is set up very well to have quite the run at Ohio State.
Yeah, there's like nothing I don't love about this guy and his game. Great size, can really run, just tremendous athlete. Watch this hit. I mean, this poor kid, oh my goodness. That is as vicious of a hit as you'll ever see right there. Just the ability to cover so much ground at that size and be physical, and look at the break on that one. Now, pick six here. He is absolutely the total package, and it's interesting. So he's a very good student, very smart kid, very serious about his academics, but there's an edge to him that I really like. It's on the field, but it's a little bit off the field. Like, he's got this kind of, the way he carries himself, a little bit of an attitude, edge, aura about him that I really like. I think it makes for, I think you kind of have to have that. I think all the great defensive backs have to have that. And I think he does. And he is just an absolute missile back there. There is no box he doesn't check. Again, size, instincts, closing speed, toughness. It's serious. I've got him number one in Ohio. It's not that I'm going on this crazy limb. I think he's pretty much a consensus top 2 or 3 guy in Ohio, but I don't know if anyone actually does have him one. I have him one. So spoiler alert when I finalize the Ohio rankings here at some point. But this is, for my money, once Sonny Styles reclassified, became the best prospect in the state of Ohio. It's just hard for me. I've said this about a couple of guys. I'm not gonna say this about everybody, because of course everyone's kind of at different points in their development, but this is one of those couple of guys in this class where it's like, okay, how does this not work? How does Malik Hartford fail? And it's very hard to see that without, injuries or something, something unforeseen like that happening. It's just physically doesn't seem like he's a kid who could be a bust. Just a total all around great player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had the opportunity as we were getting the show ready to sit down and watch the watch his tape and everything else, and yeah, it's hard not to be impressed with everything that he's put on tape. And the truth of the matter is that we've both been in this industry for a long time. You can give me a 3-star in 6 games, and I can make him look like a 5-star. But Malik Hartford just shines like in every game. I mean, it's not going to be every play. No player is going to be able to do that on every play, but there's just so much good tape on this kid. So I mean, yeah, it would be very difficult for to see a situation where he just disappears into the weeds and then doesn't end up producing. I mean, he's going to be somebody that's going to produce, and quite honestly, Ohio State's going to need him to produce sooner rather than later. That's not putting all the pressure in the world on him of saying, "Oh, we need you, kid, to go right now." But he's one of these. There are a couple kids in this class that I see kind of on the fast train, and he's one that's going to need to be on the fast train because you look kind of at the safety room, and obviously they've got Sonny Styles until they decide otherwise to put him somewhere else. You got Kai Stokes, and then we start getting into some questions. I mean, what's the status of Court Williams? I mean, you got Cam Martinez. What's the status of Lathan Ransom? I mean, you're going through this room. I mean, with the departures of Jalen Johnson and Jansen Dunn, somebody's going to have to play, and why not Malik Hartford?
I think we're going to see him play this year. I pretty much never predict a true freshman to start. I don't really even deal in those terms. It's so unusual. So I'm not going to go that far, but I predict he plays this year. I just, he is, I kind of, talk about the edge he kind of carries himself with. He is not going to be intimidated. Of all the kids they've signed in this class, he is going to probably at the top of the list of guys who are not going to be, like maybe him and Brandon Innes are maybe like the top of the list of guys who are not going to be intimidated by the culture shock that we keep mentioning, with going from high school to college. He is going to embrace that type of competitive atmosphere, and he's going to come with a chip on his shoulder from day one. That's the type of kid he is. I really can't say enough good things about him. I think about all the safety prospects they've recruited the last few years. And let me be clear, I still to this day, and we'll see if I end up being right on this, consider Sonny Styles a linebacker. I just think that's ultimately where he is best going to project. So I'm kind of leaving Sonny out of this conversation, as I kind of don't really view him as a safety or as a safety prospect, certainly coming out of high school. So with that out of the way, like, you would have to, I'm trying to think like how far back I would have to go. It's at least a few years. He's my favorite safety prospect they've landed in quite a few years. And that includes, Jordan Fuller and Lathan Ransom and those guys. I mean, I would have to go back. I can't say I ever really saw Malik Hooker up close in high school.
Going back to maybe like a Von Bell.
Yes, I think that's where we would have to go. I think that's hard. I think that's how far back we'd have to go, which to me feels like yesterday, but in reality is what, like 9 years ago, 9 signing classes ago.
Wow. Yeah.
So, oh God, do I feel old? But I really, really think that's probably how far back I would have to go to find a safety that I liked as much and more than Malik Hartford. I think that's probably it. I think he's special. I think he's going to be a very special player in Columbus. Again, special teams here, right? The way he runs, the way he hits could get on there early, but I think, again, I think he gets out there early. I think by October, we're seeing him rotate in a little bit. That's kind of how things started for Von Bell, as you just mentioned. And I could see a similar path here. Again, outstanding player. But Kevin, anything to add here as I gush over my personal number one player in Ohio?
I'll say one thing is, in having conversations with Malik Hartford, and I'm sure you've talked to him more than I have, he just is like really kind of quiet when I talk to him. I mean, maybe it's just the whole, I don't know who you are, so I'm going to be buttoned up or whatever, but I don't see him. And then I see the guy out there that's just trucking dudes. It's one of those weird dynamics. I mean, because seriously, he's the guy that's helping the old lady across the street and everything else. But You know, if somebody tries to grab her bag, he's going to run him down and spear him in the middle of the street.
It's really funny talking to him. You know, I kind of interviewed after camps and things like that, and he's not boisterous, but you'll ask him certain questions and he'll give you an air like, ooh, that's kind of I'm not like, not to make light of it, but like you want like these, like, you know, you want these intense guys back there, and he'll give you these answers, and it's like, wow, okay, you do have a little bit of a killer in you, and it's just, you have to, it doesn't come out in like this like loud booming like display with antics and everything else.
He's not Jermaine Matthews.
Right, yeah, but he gives you these quiet, like almost like stone cold answers. It's a very different type of, like, it's kind of what I alluded to earlier. It's where it's like, it's not like super obvious when you're talking, but like the more you talk to him and you learn about, it's like, oh, there's an edge there that he has, and it's like, okay, that's gonna work, I think. But yeah, so, well, definitely one of my favorite guys in this class. A great prospect, and I think Ohio State fans need to be pretty excited about this one. But we will wrap this one up. Again, all of our content can be found on BuckeyeHuddle.com. You can get all the capsules and all of our signing day content and analysis. YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle for all these capsule videos today. And if you'd rather listen than watch, we are on all the podcast platforms that I think everyone would be using. So we're on Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever. We're on all of them. So you can find us there. But appreciate everyone watching and listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.